Well, hello. We are recording live from Arlington, Vermont. Currently, my mouse has died on me because I forgot to change the battery. So I'm using the ever so fun and popular. All right,
died on me because
there we are.
Change the battery. So I'm using.
All right, turn
It
that
was so
off.
fun and popular.
Died on me because. Stay muted, will you? So, need a haircut, but oh well. So, yeah, I'm doing a unauthorized and what was it? What did I say? What it was? It was unauthorized and I forgot what it was. But yeah, CPU's at 100, so that might cause some issues. But even the GPU is up to 78%, so not sure how well that's going to be. Let's go down here and look at get the chat operating processability. Pop that out. Yeah, with needing sort of two hands for the needing two hands for doing the other. At 100%, there's also some delay in the controls. Yay. But all right, I think I got things where they're supposed to be. All right, comments. Yeah, I think everything is. One of the things is that I used to have a window with a bunch of tabs and all that had everything preset, and I just happened to realize that they went away. I must have accidentally closed that window, which is annoying because now I have to re-find on how to do my the Gmail account for Happy Valley Hobbies. And figure out how to do that one. So, oh well. But I'm assuming people are going to start wandering in. Right now, it's just me, myself, and I. But I think telling people that I was no longer doing this particular time slot probably shot that down, which is okay. But yeah, right now the plan is to find different do with different pieces of equipment to see about regaging them. Originally, I was going to do the experiment, regaging that. However, what has happened is that the experiment that I was, the locomotive I was going to regauge and all that, I measured that it had 1/8 inch axles, which is like great. I got plenty of 1/8. I got a whole bunch of 1/8 brass rod. So probably not the best thing for it, but I got plenty of this. Then when I turned around and used a wheel puller to pull off the wheels, I was surprised to find out this very cheap locomotive actually had the axle was stepped. So I have to actually turn around and so the wheels don't have one. The holes in them are not 1/8, which is sort of kind of odd and all that. Why they would turn around and make a step axle for it. The only thing I can think of is for ease of assembly, because someone can just put the wheel on there and don't have to worry about gauge and all that, because everything's already in gauge. But I also realized that I probably should make a schedule ahead of time of when I have time off to say, hey, I'm going to have a live stream at this such and such time. Doing it, turning around and saying, hey, I got a live stream right now, without having an audience that's realizes that I have, my audience is used to me having a very specific time so probably like me didn't add didn't add notifications. So, oh well. That's the way it is. So, I guess right now is to what I have been doing is switching gears to using this with transformers and all that. They call this a mold. This is it's called the Dixie Bell mold. It is a model of the Sierra number 3. It's actually OO scale, not HO. So when you look at this and then you look at the prototype, it's like, gee, it looks odd and all that, because this technically is a narrow gauge engine, not standard gauge. Well, hello, there's Taro. Thank you for coming in. And I do have a bunch of these. And since my original, hello there, Dan. Thank you for coming in. Since my original plan for the experiment doesn't have axles that are conducive to easy regaging, I took one of these apart, found out that, hey, I can do exactly just that. So I'm going to see about regaging one of these Dixie Bells, which I do have a bunch. I do have a bunch of these. So if I actually have to, because of they have it. They do have. I'm not sure if this one has it. No, this does not have it. Let's see. This one probably should have it. Yes. These these have traction tires on the rear. So that's one of those things I'm thinking of. Yeah, I can't really use those. So I've already converted a bunch of these, like this one. Basically, I just swap the rear for one to the front for the other, so it would be all wheels. I am contemplating on the center wheel is also a blind driver, so I'm also thinking of thank you, Zoe. Yeah, actually, I have different variations of the same thing. Let's see. Well, you saw this one, which is red and green. I also have one that is, sort of like the Denver and Rio Grande one. So I have all these different variations of basically the same thing. I wound up buying a bunch of these for parts. Same thing with the Mantua General. That mold, which is also, they basically spray painted different color paint schemes on them, and I've got a bunch of them, mostly for parts. I mean, it's like most of these locomotives that I have, they might have something. I think one is missing, like the top of the headlight, or they're basically more cosmetic problems with it. But I was basically buying them for parts because, well, they don't make them anymore. So that's what the plan is for right now. I believe I've at least got one set correctly re-gauged to 6 foot. It is one that has the rubber tire on because I was not really. I want to say I wasn't really I wasn't really basically, I was just testing it out to see if it would work. So it looks like I'm able to re-gauge these. One thing I haven't figured out is how to, after they're re-gauged, they're farther out, and how to keep them sort of centered correctly. My assumption is I'm going to have to get a piece of tubing that has an where the internal diameter is 1/8, so we'll be able to slide over the axle, and then use them as a spacer on both sides. And if I remember correctly, might be able to see it on this, but the tires, the silver portion of the tires, on this side, you see it goes directly from the painted red to the silver. And I think on this one, between the silver and the red, there's like a very, very, very thin piece of black. And that's how it's insulated. So it winds up picking it. On this particular model, it's insulated on one side, and that's the uninsulated side is where the pickup is. So the one side of the locomotive and the back end of the tender is where it picks up its electrical power. It's not all-wheel pickup, which can be a slight disadvantage. But my thought process right now is to see about getting 3 of these wheel sets done. I'm probably going to pull this uninsulated one out and then put one without a. Oh, well, that's not good. I should not be able to do this. But that might have to be fixed a little bit later on. I'm still sort of trying to figure this whole thing out and see what happens. So we're going to be disassembling a bunch of locomotives tonight, at least the drivers anyway, and putting each set of stuff inside a. Keep on forgetting, right? The batteries on my mouse just happened to die before this, so I have to go that way. Settings. Change camera. Hopefully it's the right camera, because I got 2 cameras that are they both say live camera, and I can't turn around and put live camera 1, live camera 2. So it's sort of a All right, got the right one. All right, so that's that. Yeah, what had to, one thing about Dan's model railroading journey, he's actually uh, documenting his way to become a master model railroader, and going through all the different certificates and all that. So if you have any interest in doing something along those lines, I would say go check out his channel. All right. Yeah, when I disassembled the experiment, this is, see, there's a slight step in the axle. So we'd have to turn around and basically learn how to use my lathe to turn around and change that. But meantime, we'll put this aside, out of the way. Another thing I'm going to see about doing, probably got some Northwest short line. I was going for a traction layout, so I'm going to see about also changing the gauge on these to see if they could, if I can turn around and re-gauge these. But one thing at a time. All right, I so far have taken one apart, which is this one. Basically, I took off the ever so fun and popular front and rear axles. But as you can see, this has the contacts on this side, and this would be the uninsulated sides on this one. That's how it would pick up the electricity. So it's not all wheel pickup. This is also one that's missing the top and other parts and all that. So this was a parts locomotive. This also off to the side. It's another one that I just I believe I've redesignated as a parts locomotive because you got the 2 rubber tires on here instead of the single one. This is another parts locomotive. These are the side parts and everything for the other one. Let's grab another one of these for show the parts on that. That's slightly out of the way. Oh, I thank you, Zoe, and hello there, Mystic. Thank you for coming in. Just happened to have tonight off and all that, so I decided to do a thing. Yeah, actually, looking from the back side, you can actually see where. I'm not sure how well that shows up, but see that white thing around the back? That's the insulator where this one does not have an insulator. So and let's see. Yeah, that's all right. That's what I did there. All right. And that's the thing, is when you start pulling wheels off and all that, then you got to make it sure that which ones have wheels, which ones, which side is the articulated side or the insulated side. All right. This is not going to be helpful. Let's grab the ones that I plan on actually using. Yeah, see, this one has, they do not have the rubber tires on. So let's disassemble this. One thing I like about the Mantua is that they do have the older ones at least have these bearings in them. Okay, now where did I put that? All right, got that there. Here we are. Now, if you notice on the thing is, the other locomotive that was originally planning on experiment had the same thing where they had spacers because these are double O, which is 176 instead of 187. So the cylinders are actually wider than they're supposed to be for HO scale. So with this, it looks like I might not be able to do the might not be able to do not do the drive blinders because I'm not quite sure. That. I'll flip this over here. Try not to drop the side rods. Same thing over this side. Move that out. Pull out the bearing. This one. Remember to keep everything relatively under the camera. Lights are slightly offset. So we're going to take that out, pull this out, take the bearings out. Side rods out. These seem to be steel because they're attracted to the magnet. These bearings are a little bit smaller, so easier to lose. All right. here. Okay. That's for that. Now for the fun part. Alright, that one is already off. So let's look at this to see which one is the insulated one. And it is this one. So this is the original puller from Northwest Short Lines. Let's see, we put that now. So. And again, looking at the back, that doesn't have the white on it, but that one does. So that's what we want. So we want an insulated wheel. Oh, hello there, Train Man 1. Thank you for coming in. All right. Yeah, every now and then I have to look at the monitor that's over there. All right. For I'm pulling this off. So yeah, basically every locomotive, there's only one insulated flange side without flange side, it's insulated. So you need 3 locomotives to do one. Okay, so that is out of the way. All right, now, thing is that there's times I wish I had the number 2 puller, because that's actually wide enough to put the axles on. Because unfortunately, the way this is set up, there's not enough room to be able to put a wheel on. However, I seem to be able to use this, which is a very small vise, very cheaply made. I don't know where I got it from, but it seems to be able to put on. I was able to do that, so let's see if I'm able to put this on. I also have a quarter, which is very important. This is so you can actually turn around and quarter the drivers appropriately. I would use a little bit of cleaning, but they are there. The idea putting these on here is that these are what's called a press fit. So if I remember correctly, the holes are supposed to be slightly smaller than the shaft that's going in. I believe it's an interference fit. That's that way. That's that way. Press these in. We'll quarter them later. I mean, quartering should be done at the same time, but I'm still learning on how to do this properly. So, well, hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. Do this. Now, the thing is that the brass is relatively soft, so can't really go too nuts on it. That's why I'm slowly moving it, making sure that everything is still straight. Let's get this more towards the center of the vise. Yeah, these are not quartered at all. But hopefully I can quarter them properly. But this is the, you're watching somebody learn how to do something live. Let's see, it's nowhere near the, it's nowhere near being the correct gauge. Now with now it's probably going to be even more crazy trying to do it on trucks, because trucks have a pointed axle. These are a flush axle. Flush axles are a lot easier to do. I mean, even the pilot trucks and all that, it looks like they just grabbed a set of wheels from the normal bin and just throw them on there, because they're not supposed to have points on them. All right, that's not going in straight. It's going in sideways. That straightened it out. That's tilted that way. Now let's see if rounding this off a little bit helps out. Because I think, unfortunately, the brass is mushrooming instead of going straight on there. It's mushrooming instead. Oh, that's the disadvantage of having a brass axle. But ooh, we got some nice new locomotives. Nice. So I'm not quite sure. I've been hovering around 100 subscribers for the past year. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing / not doing, but when I first started this channel, it was basically, I was unemployed at the time, so I was thinking around like, oh well, I'll try to make it as a YouTuber. And then I got employed, and probably should take this somewhere where I don't get it confused with the other ones. All right, let's try it. Let's try to get it close to being quarter to begin with. But I've been using it more for therapy and hanging out with people. Okay. Now, I mean, if I remember correctly, I think Rainbow Bells It's been doing this for, I want to say, the past, I want to say 8 years, and he's just recently broke 500. This spot would be nice to actually have a proper wheel puller of the right size, so I can turn around and actually get everything straight. That is not going on straight. Or proper anvil. I mean, I do have a drill press that I could probably press into pressing. But that would have to be off camera because there's no camera aimed at it at this point. And plus, it needs to be, now the table needs to be fixed. Because the way this vise is, I can't, I'm not able to get the everything on, because where this thing for the side rod is slightly proud, so it won't let me press it nice and straight. It just doesn't want to go nicely straight. Doesn't want to go on at all. Well, this might be a off-camera thought process, or not thought process, but win, I guess. One thing I want to see about doing is actually finding out how to get a hold of nickel silver in tubing, because since I have a lathe, I can theoretically do my own wheels, and I can take the blind drivers and make them into flanged. But I have no idea where to get the appropriate metal for it. I also found out recently that nickel silver has no silver in it. I was able to get one straight, so how come I'm not able to get the second one straight? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what there was an explanation of why. What was it? There's a Wikipedia article about it. But yeah, it was on a machining channel where they were talking about nickel silver, and then it's like, they said, oh, there's no silver in it. It's XYZ and something else along other lines, and it's a steel that has a lot of nickel in it. It's one of those things of why silver. If I remember, I want to say the reason why it was called nickel silver is because it made it sound more prestigious. But yeah, nickel silver has no silver in it. So I'm assuming it's some type of marketing thing of trying to make it sound more precious, I guess. Because some of the, I do have actually older locomotive. I do have an old kit that actually has brass drivers on it, and that's what they used to use. They used to have brass wheel sets. But then eventually they gone to the quote unquote fake nickel silver. No, there's not a sliver of silver in it, Mystic. Now, when you're saying it's a cool gizmo, my assumption is it the puller or the quarter that you were talking about? Basically, this is just a miniature vise. That unfortunately the puller, I need the West Short Line puller, which I guess it's the puller 2, which has a much longer travel than this does. Because then I can actually turn around and actually position everything. As you can see, this has a U on it, where I can turn around and actually position everything where everything can be straight. Of course, then also you can also be talking about the Ultimation sander, which I'm something that I actually glad it's expensive, but I actually am very glad that I bought it. It needs another thing of sanding, more sandpaper, new sandpaper. Yeah, Kyle, that's one thing I've sort of haven't done with this hobby lately, is just run trainings, because, well, you're seeing about 1/3 of the size of the layout that I have right now. So I do have a standard gauge layout, which you just barely see the which I haven't something else I haven't completed yet. But it's the same era. All right, I think. I almost want to say things are starting to feel like they're going properly. Or is it? No, it's not flat. No. I have to say I got plenty of brass rod to fiddle around with. One thing I was surprised to find out that the flat uh, these these axles for 6 foot HO scale is actually 1 inch, or it's like a hundredth or a thousandth or thousandths of two under an inch and all that. So I'm like, yeah, might as well make it an inch. Nickel silver is 60% copper. That sounds about right. Yeah, 20 cents. Yep. Not a single sliver of solder or silver. Just copper, nickel, and zinc. If I remember correctly, brass has a lot of copper in it also. Which explains why it's used as a conductor. Now, nickel silver does have I'm not sure how it has this ability, but the oxide still conducts, whereas a lot of pure copper oxide doesn't, if I remember correctly, does not. Same thing, I think, from what I understand, same thing with rust. Rust is not a very good conductor. I'm starting to wonder how did I get this one all nice and correct and all that, and I can't do the second one. Because I still have, as you can see, I still have a far way to go with that. And it doesn't want to go on straight. What did I do differently? If I did it that way, that's going to go. I honestly don't know what I did. Let's try it this direction. Fast forward. But, my understanding, DB Tech is tonight for Sidetrack Sunday. Yeah, this is a very cheap vice, so the vice jaw keeps on going that way. Yeah, get the right tools, you can get things done correctly. Only an expert can turn around and use hacks to the wrong equipment to get done right. That is not me. I need the right tools to do things. This is going to be the wrong way of doing it, but let's see if I do that. that's starting to push the axle out this side. Push that back. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong here. Because the first one went fine. The second I went fine. It's not quartered. The quartering is relatively easy, just twist it. Thing is, by going in sideways, it's not going into the hole. It needs to go straight in. If it goes straight in, then it would turn around and actually go in. What am I doing wrong? If I'm looking at this correctly, it should be going in straight. It's always wanting to go sideways. Sorry for the uneventful, frustrating stream tonight. One step of actually making another axle for this. Maybe there's something bent or something. I don't know. But the first one was like, it was like fine. Ooh, now it's going, it's still going in crooked. Now the thing is, like, if I keep on pushing, maybe it'll pop in. Yeah, either that or enough mushrooms out the axle. That's okay. Just hopefully it doesn't hurt the. I'm hoping that that's hurting the drivers, because those I can't really replace easily. Oh, okay. I'm assuming Mr. Newsom came in here and put his opinions down, which, you know, people are okay. I look at it this way: people are okay with their opinions, but at the same time, this, as Kyle says, you're here for trains, not politics. I mean, this is not a political channel. If you want to go play politics, go to a political channel. Yeah, I usually let I do. Oh, hello there, Randall. That's why I was. That's why I sort of almost copied what Anthony Dodge, Train Outsider, did. Is to make people moderators, but I also. Unlike him, which is like, oh, this is your first time here. Well, here's your monitor. It's like, no, that can have complication in its own right. So I usually wait until it's a name I recognize. Then I'm like, then I'll turn around and go, oh, okay, I recognize you. You could be a moderator, and it's usually just a plain moderator, not a. I forgot what the other one is. But yeah, tonight is basically a re-gauging wheels and finding it very frustrating. I don't have the right tools to do said re-gauging. Okay, now we're getting closer. Not there yet. No. Technically, we're there. Yeah, I want to push this in a little bit more, and then I'll turn around and push that one back in, because that's not flush. So. Rather turn around and actually make them too narrow. And then, because this doesn't have fine control, the puller has very fine control. I can just do like an eighth of a turn. It's, as you see, the threads are so much thinner. Not quite there yet, but it also looks like it's almost time for DB Tech to do his thing. So let me switch cameras. Well, I would have to say, Randall, he didn't give me trouble because someone deleted him before I saw what the comment was. So I don't know if it was had to do with assassinations or resigns. So. All right. Yeah, election season is definitely not fun. Okay, that brings me back to here. Yeah, also the batteries on my mouse died before coming here, so gotta use the trackpad, which is up here, instead of the mouse, which is much lower and can get at. Yeah, election season. I would have to say, Yes, exactly. It doesn't matter what's and the thing is, my position is I'm sort of in the center. And I remember when during the Black Lives Matter movement, I got it both from both sides. It's like and I just said, it's like, hey, we're middle of a pandemic, go home. How dare you? It's like, and then it's like, how dare you? Suppress this, that. It's like, no. So people who are towards the left thought I was a right winger, and people on the right thought I was a left winger. So it's like, and unfortunately, when it comes to the extremes, in my opinion, you can't talk to them. It doesn't matter if you're right or left. If you're extreme, you're extreme, and you don't want to listen to you don't believe that it's that sort of you're with me or you're against me, and it's like, no, it's one of those things. I'm not for you, but I'm really not against you either. I'm neutral, and that has got me in, because I try to look at both sides. Um, I don't believe in perfect evil or perfect sainthood either. There are some things that some of the most horrendous people have done that weren't as horrendous and actually was a good thing. And the same thing on the other side. There's so the people that is so saintly and all that, but then all of a sudden they've done some not so great things either. So it's one of those things of, we're all human. We're somewhere on the spectrum, I guess, of between good and evil. And having it completely black and white, that's not how humans work. We're all gray in some ways. I mean, like for myself, my new job, so far I'm scheduled for 10.5 hours for this past 2 weeks, and I'm like, that's not gonna help me, maintain I'm pretty much mostly everything I'm still applying for unemployment because I'm underemployed. But the thing is, I'm still going to job interviews and stuff like that, which there's one that's like, all right, it's not what I exactly want. It has to, but at the same time, it's one paying more than where I'm working at now, and plus it will be a full-time job. So I will be able to do things like, pay the rent. Because right now, most of my income right now is going into rent, food, and gas. And as much as I would like to have the Polar 2 from Northwest Shortline, I'm not even ordering it until I actually start getting money coming in. And in my humble opinion, most I want to say most national political positions don't really care about individuals. They want your vote, but they don't really care about it. They'll pretty much they'll say they're. I have seen some politicians turn around and they'll say, they'll turn around and say anything they'll get you their vote. They'll get you to get their vote, and then just do whatever they want. Most of this is sort of an oxymoron, but most of the honest politicians I've come across, they're at the local level. They're not at the state level. They're not at the national level. They're at the local level. And because I almost want to say the system is rigged for people who, oh, you want, if we give money for your election and all that, you just have to do this stuff for us. And ones that don't compromise their principles don't get the funding, because it's like, oh, you're not going to bend to our will. Well, we're not going to pay for your re-election, which is unfortunate. But it's but yeah, that's another thing, is that there's times that things are so toxic. It's like you mention one thing and they just go, it's like, I'm like, that's one of the things I've actually seen to, with my new job. There's not a single word of politics. They talk about, they might talk about their, their family, what's going on this, but not a single thing not a single thing about politics. And and the thing is, toxicity is, unfortunately, that's how, from my understanding, that's how the toxicity and vileness winds up getting, they get views, they get comments, they get all this engagement, which is like, ooh, more advertising dollars. Yeah. And one thing I don't like about trolls is that you're their entertainment. They want you to get pissed off because that's how they get entertained. Yeah, I know somebody that would turn around and they would deliberately take the other side that they did not believe in just to get somebody angry, to be entertained. It's like, oh, I can control them. I can get them mad. I can, it's like, and, but unfortunately, I mean, that's, and the thing is that people who are like that, this is just my opinion, the ones that like to, that get entertained by getting other people angry. Yeah, it's like some people. Well, Randall, with the model train industry, it's or the model train hobby. You got the rivet counters. It's like, oh, you got your rivet. That's you got one too many rivets on this one side and all that. And it's like, I'm like, there's a lot of times it's like, I've learned that if you can't see it 6 feet away, what's the point of putting all that effort in? Early on, I'm a fan of the Delaware and Hudson. I was doing the transition era, and I did some locomotives that, I put the lift rings on there. I detailed the snot out of it. But the thing is that the paint scheme at that time was black with the yellow safety stripes on the end. And the thing is, when you turn around and you put, you turn around and you paint it that way, all that detail that you put on there just disappears. So it's one of those things of, people have opinions. I think that was a hello there, Trackside Mike. I'm slowly getting ready to peel off to say DB Tech. Oh yeah, if I said fantasy ski. I actually came across one where someone did. Actually, that I've come across a bunch of railroads now that they did either a fantasy scheme or there's one railroad that somebody turned around and they made it like black. They made it all black and white, no color on it. They put the black and white photos. This is what the black and white photo looks like. This is what it looks like. And there's people that just don't like that because it's like, no, it's supposed to have color. But he has no color photos to go by. So, there's a massive, from what I understand, there's a massive controversy with the golden spike locomotive because there's no picture of the Jupiter's fireman side, so they don't know. They lost the. They had the information of what was on that side has been lost to time. It's gone. Unless somebody happens to find a photo of what was on the fireman's side, it's not going to be there. So there's a lot of people that are arguing. I guess they made an assumption of what would be on the other side. It would make practical sense. And there are some people that are like, "Oh, that's completely wrong," and all that, and etc. You had a Disney animator, put their own thing on there, and yeah, very much. One of the things that I want to see about that I've been, it's one of those things that there's somebody that's into cycle carts. And they're trying to, get me into it. And at first, I'm thinking, not really into it. But however, what had happened is that I found out that American Locomotive in 1909 actually had a racing car team, and I'm like, oh, really? In fact. It's a two-time winner of, I can't think of the name of the race. The Vanderbilt Cup, and they also were in the they were also in the first Indy 500. The favorite to win, but about halfway through, something went awry and they didn't finish. And the thing is that the prototype is still actually still running. Some guy down in Long Island actually has it, and he's actually one of the Tycho. There's what was it? They had like the loop-to-loop train, it's like stuff like that. Oh, that's where you are. All right. That's what I just happened to realize what you were talking about, the Brickyard 400. I'm like, I'm not. But then it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's where you are. But actually, from my understanding, the first two. Oh yes, we're being invaded. That was something talking about politics. We're being invaded, But it's interesting and what's okay, it's what's okay for us to be invaded by than others. But it looks like it's actually almost time for DB Tech to do trackside Sunday. So I'll peel off now so people can be over there. Yeah, absolutely, Randall. I mean, that's what I'm doing something that no one's doing. It's like American broad gauge. There's no one doing American broad gauge. There's people doing British broad gauge, but not American broad gauge. Yep, DB Tech tonight. See you over there. Trackside Mike and everybody else. Thank you much, Kyle. All right. So, as I always say, that I believe that there's a need for more love in the world. So find your passion. Ooh. Okay then. That was odd. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye.